What is one of my favorite stories from the road? This is a good one. So my name is Ian Campbell. If you're new to my channel here, I appreciate you being here. One of the things that I love about music and one of the reasons that I write music is because I'm a firm believer that music has a way to connect us in ways that we typically wouldn't be able to be connected. And one of the ways that it does that is through the stories that we're able to share as songwriters, as artists, in a way that we're able to say, okay, hey, this is who I am. This is some stuff that's gone through my life, and I think that I'm willing to bet that it's happened with you too. But then again, there are also things that happen in my life, in my day-to-day existence in life that, like any other job, right? I mean, are going to happen in my world that aren't going to happen in other people's worlds. And I find that that some people tend to find those things interesting. So thought that I might answer some questions about some of these stories. So my favorite thing, my favorite story, one of my favorite memories. There's a lot of them. There really are. One of the things that that's actually come up a couple times recently, and so it's top of mind, is that when I was like 25, I want to say, I was in my mid-20s, and I was out with an entertainment company, right? I was working with an entertainment company. I was singing. I was doing a lot of Sinatra stuff. I was doing a lot of party band stuff, and all weddings and bar mitzvahs and festivals and corporate parties, all the things that you would expect groups like that to be doing. Well, one of the things that we did, this particular group that I was with had a real solid connection with sports, with the sporting world, right? So football, hockey, a little bit of baseball, stuff like that, but mostly football and hockey. And so as a result of that, we got to go and play the Hall of Fame parties, Super Bowls, things like that. Well, one year, the first year that I was there, right, and this is probably the third time, maybe my third gig with this group, I was sent to Ohio with a group of people to go and play for Dan Marino's Hall of Fame induction party. And Dan Marino, if you're not familiar, if which if you're not a football fan, you may not be, but he was the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. I was from Rochester, New York, so all of my Buffalo Bills fan friends kept giving me a hard time about singing for the enemy. But then again, of course, I'm not a huge football fan, so it didn't really matter to me either way. It was just a guy that was there that was being honored, right? So I was stoked to go and sing for him and enjoy that. And enjoyed that opportunity rather. But I was part of the opening act and part of the closing act. So there was a headliner, but there was a headline act in between what I was doing. So, but during that opening act, I was part of this Rat Pack group, and I was singing songs and Sinatra tunes, and I was singing like "Fly Me to the Moon" or something like that. And all of a sudden, this dude jumps up on stage and takes the microphone from the other guy, right? And I'm like, okay, that's weird, but he didn't put up a fight, so he must know who this guy is. Cool, right? So I'm singing, and then he jumps in, starts singing, and takes a verse, and then I take another verse, and especially because at the time we were using some pretty specific sequences, and if you didn't know them, then you could easily get lost. So when he took a verse, I jumped in, kind of took the second one, and then kind of went back and forth. And it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. It was pretty neat. And then but I didn't recognize the guy. So I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, my name is Ian." And then just as he was telling me his name, all of a sudden the music started blaring again, and I wasn't able to hear it. And so I walked up to my buddies. I'm like, "Dude, who is that?" And strangely enough, and so my one buddy looks at me and goes, "Dude, that's Darius Rucker." I'm like, oh, because I'd heard that he was going to be there because he's a huge Dolphins fan, and I know that he and Marino know each other, have gotten to know each other well and whatnot, and so I knew he was going to be there. I just didn't know that was him who jumped up on stage, because this was between the Hootie stage and the country music stage. And so the last time that I had seen him was during his kind of prime Hootie and the Blowfish years, and he had dropped a lot of weight and kind of looked a lot different from the time that I had seen him the first time, or back in when I was in high school, listening to Hootie and the Blowfish, to when he jumped up on stage, and so that was probably one of my favorite stories. One of them, right? It was definitely one of the highlights over the course of the years. Because that was just a ton of fun. It was really cool to get a chance to perform with somebody that had so much talent, and that was just such a nice guy. I mean, this guy is quite possibly the kindest person that you will ever meet in the entertainment industry. He's just such a cool dude. So, but anyway, that was that's probably like I said, one of my favorite stories from the road. I'm gonna be back with more. So if you like this, do me a favor and just let me know. And let me know if you have questions. Questions about the job of being in the music industry. It's certainly a different one than most people are used to, and it's a fun one I know that it's a fun one to learn a little bit about. So, and I, like I said, I like sharing stories. So, if you have more questions, if you want to just, leave me a comment and say hi, definitely would love to hear from you. So, with that, thanks so much. Hope you're doing well, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.